Seedstars Sydney and crowned our winner GoFar. And Danny from GoFar and I, matching in grey, are actually going to sit down, have a little chat, and talk about what makes GoFar GoFar and what it is in the first place. What does your product do exactly?
Right, so our product is about saving people money on the use of their cars. And we do that in 3 ways. So we make efficiency fun, we help people get the very best deal on their insurance, and we give you the upper hand when it comes to dealing with your mechanic.
How so? What does it do exactly then?
Okay, so there's 3 parts to our product. We have our patented smart device that plugs into your car's diagnostics port, which is on all new vehicles. We have our app, and we have an eco display which goes up on the dashboard of your car. So it takes about 2 minutes and it can be self-installed. And we give drivers real-time feedback via the eco display to tell them about the cost of their trip and also where they're wasting money.
So where are you at exactly right now? Have you already installed these devices into cars, or?
We have. So we're at prototype stage at the moment. Our prototypes have been trialled in various cars, and we're just in the process now of basically making it smaller and better looking, and then finally taking it to the market.
Which kind of tests have you already run? So I think when you were pitching, you talked a little about, a game course that you kind of had set up.
That's right. Yeah, so we ran a social proof experiment. An important part of what we're doing here is gamification. So this is having people compete against themselves from one trip to the next. So, for example, on your route to work every day, you'll be able to see how you're competing against your previous day or the days prior, as well as competing against other people that are driving different cars and so forth. So there's that competitive element, and we did a social proof experiment at an exhibition called Seedstars. You probably know about that, the Sydney version, and we had an efficiency driving game set up. You get a very inefficient car, a Nissan GTR, turbocharged car with 1 litre of fuel in 2 minutes to drive as far as you can on the Nuremberg ring. And basically what we found is that at first people were a little bit interested in having a go, but as soon as their friends got a better score than them, and the objective was to drive as far as you can on that litre of fuel, then the competition was on, and we saw this play out over and over again when we ran this competition over the few days at Seedstars. And we had a leaderboard as well, which really drove people to want to get to the top of that leaderboard. And so what we're trying to do with our app and with our platform is to bake that kind of gamification right into the platform, into our app and into our product.
So installing the device seems relatively easy, or at least it's going to be easy once it's ready for the product launch, which is when exactly? When do you want to have the product on market? So
we're going to hit Kickstarter first at the end of the year, and we'll be delivering units at the end of Q1, so sort of March or April next year.
Okay, so Easter present, you guys know what to get. It's going to be the GoFar device. But you also had mentioned that there's lots of partner opportunities. I'm sure that with the fuel efficiency component to it, taxi drivers can profit greatly from this.
Sure, and taxi drivers typically don't have the best driving style. And the thing about this product is that it's about making those costs visible. So the taxi drivers drive like this because they don't understand how much this is costing them.
Yeah.
Now, if they understood that changing their driving style just slightly would give them an extra $5,000 a year in their pocket, which this product can, you can see a culture changing culture. So that's what we aim for. But not just taxi drivers, but also all fleet vehicles. So anywhere that there's a lot of cars, big fuel bills, we can help with that.
So, are you an entrepreneur from the start? How did you get to building GoFar?
I think so. I mean, I've always, ever since I was a kid, I was always doing something to try and make some extra money. If I look at my family and extended family, sort of the regular corporate full-time jobs don't feature too much.
Okay.
Most people will do their own thing in my family. So I think it's a little bit of training as a child, and that's where I see myself.
And how did you then? But you weren't immediately a start of Fishburners, and Fishburners here is a great co-working space in the heart of Sydney, Ultimo. As you can see, with the quotes, with the ladder over our shoulder, there's always something going on here. There's always a lot of inspiration to be had here. Do you think Fishburners or the Sydney ecosystem really figured into building GoFar?
It really has. I started here just over a year ago, and I was on my own, as everybody starts, right? And there's now, we now have five people that are working here at Fishburners, and we have another 5 people that are working part time elsewhere. So that team has gone.
Big team already in a year.
Sure, and I just don't think that would have been possible without what happens here at Fishburners and places like it all over the world, no doubt, where you're coming together with like-minded people, and you're making those connections that you can't possibly do if you're working from your bedroom, which is what I did for a few years before coming here. Yeah.
So what else do you think is representative of the Sydney ecosystem? Now, we've heard that sometimes setting up the investment is a very ambivalent process, that there are lots of pros and cons to the funding scene here in Sydney. How do you yourself see that?
I don't really have anything to compare it to.
Okay.
So this is my only experience. Sydney is my only experience with funding. It's not easy, but I don't think it's easy.
Anyway,
wherever you are, right? It's not easy to have people part with lots of money. They take a lot of convincing. So I don't think that changes if you're in Sydney or anywhere else in the world. So it's really difficult to say how it compares.
Yeah, but what else would you say is? I mean, I understand that you don't have any comparisons in that sense. But what do you think is kind of the heart of the Sydney ecosystem? What if I were to move to Sydney, which by the way is a lovely city, we've been enjoying ourselves immensely here. If you were to move here as an entrepreneur, what should I know about the ecosystem?
I think it's a great community of people. There's a lot of really talented, very highly educated people that live in Sydney and work out of places like Fishburners. The weather is awesome.
Yes.
So I think for that reason alone, anyone might want to consider a move here. It's expensive to live. Rent is expensive. Food is expensive. Everything is expensive.
Keeping a car is expensive.
Yeah.
Which GoFar would then improve.
That's right.
Yeah.
$1,000 a year less is what we're aiming for. But on the other hand, the opportunities are also quite great. The wages are high, and the market here in Australia is used to paying a lot more than anywhere else in the world somehow.
Yeah.
So it can be, I think, a good place to start, where you've got a market with pretty high margins, and if you can get your sort of business up and running in that environment, hopefully it provides a good platform to branch out to other places in the world.
So Sydney, in essence, is the place where they're used to paying for quality and affording that quality, etc.
They're used to paying a lot in Australia in general. Yeah.
And then, what do you think? So we know that in December you're going to have the Kickstarter out. What are you going to be able to show us? What are your plans for the future, especially in regards to Switzerland, in regards to the final Seedstars World event?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure yet. We have to wait and see. We're really excited about coming over. There's going to be a great opportunity to win some investment while we're there. That's about the time that we'll be looking to raise some more money. So, it's quite an exciting opportunity.
Perfect timing, yeah. Then one last thing that I found was actually quite interesting. A lot of the startups that we had seen during Seedstars Sydney had components, if not outright green or eco-friendly products. However, nobody wanted to label them as such. Even GoFar, you come up with the insurance, you come up with the car efficiency, gamification, but not necessarily, we're green, we're eco-friendly. Why is that? Why do you feel like, in the way I've been feeling it, is there's this kind of Australian aversion to being green?
Okay, it's interesting that you noticed that here. this project was started out of, it's an efficiency project, it's a carbon reduction effort, and it's still baked into the product that we build, but I think that aspect is useless if you can't get it into people's hands. And these are the things that people make their decisions on buying rather than outright greenness, if you like. Yeah.
So a bit more selfish than, eco-centric. Let's build a couple of trees in that sense, but in a good way, in a very, very good way. And I'm sure that your customer, come April, hopefully, is going to be very, very thankful for having GoFar and the 2 minutes that it takes to install GoFar into their car. So any last parting words to your competitors, to your future contenders at Seedstars World, Geneva?
Good luck.
All right, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, Danny.
Thank you.
Everybody, we're going to see you for our Mexico City event, which we'll be hosting with Central. It's going to be our first stop of the Latin American Tour 2014. Very exciting. I'm just a little afraid of the many hours that we're going to be spending on the flight there, but it's definitely going to be worth it, and I hope that you check in and check us out then in Mexico City. See you guys. Goodbye. Bye.